Fake versus real. That's the focus of tonight's angle.
This woman is such a sycophant. Oh my God. Watch her just spout lie after lie after lie after lie. But look, she got her eyes did.
I decided on Friday night that it's time to simplify things for everyone. You're all busy out there, right? I'm going to simplify it. The Democrats are cratering.
Well, I know you would never trust Gallup, but you know, Gallup says that when asked who you're going to vote for in the fall, 48% say Democrats, only 44% say Republican. I mean, that is a Gallup poll, so, you know, you might, I understand.
And yet they want everyone to believe that the opposite is true as we approach the midterms. So for the past month, all we've heard about is Joe's supposed midterm momentum, that he's turned the corner after a rocky summer. Of course, the opposite is actually true. In fact, Reuters has Biden's approval rating at a pathetic 39%. Even so, Reuters spins it to attack Trump somehow. You see how it works, right? Democrats have zero accomplishments to point to. All they have are these lame attempts at messaging their failures. But by every measure, things are getting worse in America. But to Joe's goons, that just means that they have to throw more dirt into the wind, hoping you won't see through the haze. But the angle, don't worry, is here to help you differentiate the real issues facing America from the fake ones that the left is raising. First, Republicans are anti-democracy.
Anti-democracy? You goddamn right you're anti-democracy. You people are fucking nuts. I don't even know what to call it. I would say fascist. Fascist. Wow, turns out I did know what to call it.
False, pathetic, come on. But their next fake is that extremism and fascism are on the rise.
I have been talking about the F word, fascism. And every time I do, someone somewhere has accused me of exaggeration, of hyperbole, tried to tell me that that's not really where America is or even close to.
We need to be the party of nationalism, and I'm a Christian and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists.
We are at the book banning stage of American authoritarianism. Are you still not worried? Republican lawmakers in Texas, led by this guy, Matt Krause, have launched an investigation into school libraries to see if they're carrying books on certain subjects. A list that includes more than 850 books, and that critics say targets books about women, people of color, and LGBTQ people specifically. It's shameful. And what else is shocking is that Representative Krause is refusing to provide any specifics about his probe, claiming that it would compromise the integrity of a potential investigation. What might he investigate? Thoroughly educating the children of Texas?
The church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. That is not how our founding fathers intended it. And I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk that's not in the Constitution. It was in a stinking letter, and it means nothing like what they say it does.
There's also the Sunshine State, under the less than sunny rule of Florida GOP Governor Ron DeSantis. 3 professors at the University of Florida in Gainesville, a state school, have been barred from testifying as expert witnesses in a voting rights case against the state. The university said it was adverse to U.S. interests and may pose a conflict of interest. A spokeswoman for the university defended the move. The university did not deny the First Amendment rights or academic freedom of the professors. No, you just denied their right to practice that freedom since the administration running the state disagreed with those 3 professors.
False. There is not a single person at the White House, at the DNC, or at the Washington Post who actually believes that if Republicans win in 2022 or 2024, we'll no longer have elections.
So clearly she can't do math, because I think there probably are. I know there's one here in Texas. At least one. Zechariah, Lone Star Liberal. Like and subscribe. It's fascism. It's not that we think you're going to end the elections. We think you're going to fix the ones that you have. You guys are the projection party, after all. My God, you're putting people in place all across the country to overturn the elections. You're changing laws in states. Right now, the law in Texas is the damn state house can just change it. Same in Georgia. You people are liars. What can I say?
Okay, that it's fascism time in the United States. It's extremism run amok. And if you believe any of that, you're just a sucker. What about the next fake? that somehow conservative policies are anti-women.
Late last year, Kaylee, a third-grade teacher, and her husband, Cade, an electrician, were thrilled to learn she was pregnant. But about 4 months later, at a doctor's appointment,
he said, "This is what a normal heart looks like, but this is what your baby's heart looks like." And he was missing heart chambers.
Her medical records show more. The fetus had an extra set of chromosomes, a severe brain defect, a severe heart defect, and his lungs were too small. Dr. Leah Tatum is a spokesperson for the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists.
If the fetus develops to term, that fetus will deliver and ultimately that baby will suffocate and pass away.
Kaylee's doctor was clear.
When he's born, he's going to suffocate to death. He may live for a few minutes, he may live for an hour, but he is going to die.
Her doctors said they could not perform an abortion, noting in her records termination is not legal in the state of Texas.
I remember her saying, you know, the course of action that I would have taken with a patient a year ago would be to advise them to terminate. She said that is the safest course of action for you, and it's the most humane course of action for him. And I just remember being so angry and shocked in that moment that I'm being told that my child's not going to survive and that I have to carry him to term no matter what.
And carrying him to term could have put Kaylee's life in danger. She was at high risk for several potentially deadly pregnancy complications, blood clots, preeclampsia, and cancer because of an abnormal placenta.
False, really? I mean, women are going to be locked in the kitchen wearing aprons if the GOP wins? You think I'd be for that movement?
Abortion, bitch. It's abortion. Don't try to play stupid.
I don't even cook well enough to do that, okay? I'm not going to be back in the kitchen. It's stupid.
We know that you're not going to cook. We know that you have a chef that does that.
They're extremely restrictive and broad. They threaten criminal penalties against physicians. They threaten to take someone's medical license away.
How could you be so cruel as to pass a law that you know will hurt women and that you know will cause babies to be born in pain? He was going to die a painful death. So how is that humane? How is that saving anybody?
Those voluntary blackouts in California, somehow that's good for women living alone? Oh, those must be great for women by their calculus. The fact is, strong women are on the rise throughout the Republican Party. But remember, the left doesn't even consider any of those women, certainly women who believe in populism or America First policies, to even be legitimate women at all. And of course, there's the ultimate fake, that Republicans are racist at heart.
The Republican Party just won't reject racism.
That guy's the former Republican National Committee chairman. The first black one they ever had. That's not some libtard that's, you know, gone woke.
Another vicious smear with zero evidence. In fact, if there's racism on the rise in the United States, it's found in local policies that disproportionately harm minorities. A Bank of America research report found that inflation shock of 2021 disproportionately affected African Americans, Hispanic, and Latino communities.
Yeah, no shit, bitch. Because they're disproportionately poorer.
And it's not just the economy. Day after day, Democrats are ignoring the nightmarish problems, how government-run schools are failing our kids. COVID lockdowns, which Democrat mayors and governors embraced, have led to plummeting test scores.
Suggesting that Greg Abbott was so woke that he had lockdowns and closed the schools. My God, how dare you?
They start enforcing the mandate. It's disgusting.
It's way worse in Florida and in Texas. They got the worst schools in the country, damn near. And guess what? The kids are stupid. It's a real problem.
And when students aren't falling behind in academics, they're being indoctrinated by sex and gender radicals.
Then, like this trans person that you ran? Oh, is this who you're talking about?
And another real issue versus all their fakes. The young thugs who are now feeling empowered by Democrat policies to go on racist rampages and killing
sprees. The 56-year-old has a lengthy criminal history with at least 8 arrests in Florida alone. He's now suspected of targeting people who are critical of President Trump. The president, who earlier tweeted that this, quote, bomb stuff was hurting Republicans before midterms, Court documents reveal investigators found Sayak through fingerprints on the packages and items inside. They also say that some of the packages had photos of the intended targets with red circle slashes on their faces.
Believe they found a social media account belonging to the suspect that is full of right-wing content and aggressive attacks on liberals, including mentions of some of the people who received these packages with the words, "See you soon." Maggie.
Never miss an opportunity to attack a Jew.
So with the message of commit the crime and do no time from George Soros-backed DAs.
You ever notice how they always blame the one billionaire George Soros, but they don't blame these guys? Or these guys? Or the Koch brothers? Or all the casino people that paid for Trump's campaign? Oh, you thought he did it himself? Yeah, that's another lie this bitch told you.
That's put a target on the back of law enforcement. So what's the result? A dangerous shortage of police officers across America. And now, of course, crime is creeping into the suburbs.
Yeah, Republicans voted against police funding. Thank God Democrats sent them the money they needed. And it wasn't enough. I think they should have sent them more. But Republicans fought it on every single turn.
These smash and grabs have become an epidemic across the
Shortage
nation.
of police officers? Thank God the Democrats funded them. Every Republican voted against them. They voted to defund the police. We voted to fund the police. That is the difference. They're just lying to you. This girl's lying to you.
Another real issue. The Democrats are actually making you poorer by the day. So your wages are lower now than they were a year ago because of the cost of living has gone up. So you may be working more than one job just to pay the bills, and inflation is eating away at your money, at your bottom line. And of course, they never want you focused on the very real issue of the Biden foreign policy collapse. We're pouring billions of dollars into Ukraine.
Yeah, there's a war in Ukraine where the Soviet Union has now attacked Ukraine. Maybe you heard. The entire world's mobilized against Putin because he's trying to get the band back together at the USSR. Oh, maybe you didn't hear about that. You know, what kind of an American are you? A patriot would stand for freedom.
We're following Europe's lead on energy. And of course, we see they're in crisis mode right now.
Crisis mode? Because there's a war, bitch.
Do I even need to remind you about what happened in Afghanistan? Of course
that's
not.
A lie. You know that's a lie. Donald Trump is the one who sent everybody home and had us getting out of there by March. Donald Trump left all the stuff. Joe Biden had a month to get, $100 billion worth of equipment.
Now, the choice isn't about choosing MAGA or anti-MAGA in November. What it's about is choosing truth or fiction, real or fake, common sense or woke fantasies. Democrats are guilty of almost every malevolent act and goal that they attribute to us. So every time the left tries to turn the conversation to candidates like Dr. Oz droning on about his home in New Jersey.
And yeah, we used to call them carpetbaggers.
Or maybe they try to get you to focus on something controversial. Blake Masters in Arizona posted.
There's a genocide happening in America. Under Roe v. Wade, the federal government recognizes a right to kill babies.
Just to understand what the Democrats are doing. Distraction. The choice is obvious. Either your lives are going to get better by electing Republicans, or your lives will continue to get worse by keeping Democrats in charge. You want to know how things will be here after an entire election where Democrats keep control? Well, look no further than to how California's doing. Remember, they had a chance to recall Gavin Newsom, the governor, but they didn't. And now, it's blackouts, crime, and more sanctuary policies for illegals.
Fact or fiction? Listen to this bitch. Let me tell you about California. There haven't been blackouts. It's a lie. In fact, they sent out a text to get people to, turn down their damn electricity, and they did, and it worked. You know how many times they did that in Texas? 18 times. This summer. My power went out 2 days ago. I'm in town. Happens all the time in Texas. Happens in the wintertime in Texas. People died. A lot of people died. And they didn't get it back on for weeks. My God. It was like a third world country down here. Crime is worse in Texas. What do you mean to say? Crime is worse in Florida. It's just lies. Sanctuary cities. Let me tell you about sanctuary cities. That doesn't mean people have sanctuary there. That means that if you are an illegal immigrant, but you report a crime, you're not going to be immediately deported. It's a program to get illegal immigrants to report crimes so that they're not just, running around being criminals. They're afraid if they report something, they might get deported. Just more lies.
Oh, and don't forget, getting rid of gas-powered cars.
Yeah, the car companies announced first they were going to 2035. In 2035, Chevy is phasing out all gas-powered cars. California followed suit with the car companies. I thought that y'all were in favor of free markets. It's just another lie. I see.
So good luck getting to your 2 jobs and an electric car that you can't charge because of rolling blackouts.
Hey, take it up with General Motors, bitch.
The left knows they can't debate populist conservatives on policy because we win a fair debate every time. So all they're left with is the politics of distortion, distraction, and demonization. But we can appeal to real people on the real issues. And eventually, real stomps fake. And that's the angle.
There's no angle there. She's just a liar. She's just lying to you. Don't buy this stuff. My God, y'all. Are you really that simple? Like my edit? I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy.